y'all, what's up? It's me, MekaKnows from MekaKnows Unfiltered, the podcast, and I just had to make a really quick video to explain a few things. This week has been one of the worst weeks of 2020 with the death of another unarmed black man by a cop. And finally, after a lot of rioting, a lot of attention, after a lot of efforts, there have been charges brought forth. The officer in question, Officer Derek Chauvin, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but who cares because he killed somebody. Anyway, the officer in question has officially been charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. A lot of us are a little upset at the charges brought because of the lack of severity of the charges. I'm here to explain why the charges aren't necessarily a bad thing. Now, a lot of us want him to get life or the electric chair, and quite honestly, it's not going to happen because those happen with capital punishment, which is only enforced on first-degree charges. Well, in certain states, only enforced on first-degree charges. And the reason the degrees have been implemented is to separate the severity of the charge, the punishment, and the definition of each charge, basically. With a first-degree charge, the main thing about a first-degree murder charge is proving intent, malice aforethought, and that would be hard to prove in this case. While we all did see the video and we definitely know the officer killed George Floyd, our brother, the video doesn't prove that it was intentional. And that's the main thing. With a first-degree charge, the burden of proof falls on the state to prove the officer's intent. That's how a lot of these bad people get off scot-free. The states that actually want the person, the criminal, to get off free, oh yeah, they'll pacify you with a first-degree murder charge, but it's because they know that it won't hold up in court. Second-degree manslaughter in Minnesota carries up to about 10 years. Third-degree murder in Minnesota carries up to 25 years. Both charges are on the table currently, and we're praying for the third-degree murder charge, which is the most severe of the two charges. The reason it's better that the third-degree murder charge is what's being brought forth is because we can actually make it stick. With the third-degree murder charge, unlike the first-degree murder charge, all you have to prove is that the unlawful actions of the cop caused the death. That is what you have to prove. So there's a far greater chance of this man actually seeing the inside of a prison cell. And that's what we really want. We don't want this man to get into a courtroom and be charged with first-degree murder to walk out of that courtroom scot-free. His defense team will eat that charge up and disprove his intent. Now, some of you have brought to my attention that he has 18 prior complaints against him. I haven't been able to find any death in any of those complaints. Just excessive force. Just physical harm without death. The defense can actually use that to their benefit. They can say that he has used excessive force before and knows or thought that it would not cause any harm, in this case, as far as death. That is what the defense team could do with a first-degree murder charge. If you disprove the intent, the charge has to be thrown out. With this third-degree murder charge, which I am personally hoping for, other than that second-degree manslaughter charge of 10 years, with this third-degree murder charge, he can actually see up to 25 years, and all the state has to prove is that his actions killed this man and his actions were unlawful. Now, which one do you want? The charge that's harder to prove but carries a higher sentence? Or the charge that's easier to prove and this man will still see a prison cell? We must not lose the focus of all of this rioting and all of this attention. What we want is a precedent and for this to stop, for the killing of black men to stop. So let's not get caught up in the different degrees. We want this man in prison. And who knows? The brothers in prison might just take care of him. Just kidding. I'm a God-fearing woman. I want God to judge him. But while he's here, I definitely want him in prison. So y'all, let's stop bickering and going against each other back and forth, yada, 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 over this charge. And let's put faith and energy into making sure that he's convicted. Let's hold the justice system accountable. All they have to prove is that this man's unlawful actions and excessive force did cause this death. And that should be it. Yeah, it's only 25 years. But it's 25 years, and that's a lot of time, and let's hope that he gets it. But I don't want us going back and forth over, well, it's not first-degree murder. Well, I want him to get life. Well, it's not going to happen, y'all. Let's hold on to this charge, which is more accurate than first-degree murder, and let's get him convicted. Let's put pressure. Let's still keep that attention going. Because we want this man, we want this bad cop and every other bad cop to know that it's not easy for you to push us around. It's not easy for you to take our black men away from us. It's not easy for you to take any man away from us, whether it be racist, whether it be classist, because that is the thing. Classism in this country is the next racism. And I'm telling y'all, for the working class, non-black folk that think that this is only a problem for black people, you better hope that this is handled now. Because if we were to disappear, the next thing would be the working class non-blacks. Yes, that is who will be targeted. As a matter of fact, you can look up some cases where there were some other races of working class people that were targeted by the police. So instead of rallying against us, because it's not your problem, understand that it could definitely be your problem, and it probably already is in your city. I have a lot of faith that this conviction is going to stick solely based on the definition. And we all know that's how these criminals get off. They get off on technicalities. Well, we only brought them up on first-degree murder. We didn't bring up any third-degree charges. So first degree, you got to prove intent. We couldn't prove intent. Throw it out. Not this time. What we have is an accurate charge, and what we have is a higher chance of this man being convicted. And I pray that every other cop out there understands to do your freaking job, but do it correctly. I'm just keeping it real.